That night the moon was full, and Ben could not sleep. He often walked by the river near his house, listening to the water. But this night, something strange happened. As he stood by the riverbank, he saw a wooden bridge stretching across the dark water. Ben had never seen it before. It looked old, but strong. The moonlight rested on it as if it was born from the moon itself. Curious, Ben stepped onto the bridge. His heart raced, but his feet kept moving. Each plank creaked under him. He looked ahead, and the bridge stretched farther and farther. When he turned his head to look back at where he came from, his heart froze. The part of the bridge behind him was gone. It was as if the wood had melted into the night. Only the rushing water remained. Fear gripped him, but the bridge before him still stood. He had no choice but to walk forward. The night was silent except for the sound of water and the thump of his heartbeat. The farther he walked, the stranger he felt. His body felt lighter, his breath sharper, as if he was crossing into another world. He wanted to call for help, but his voice stuck in his throat. So, with trembling legs, he walked deeper into the glowing path of the moon. When Ben finally reached the end of the bridge, he found himself standing in a place he had never seen before. The grass was silver, shining as if dipped in stars. Trees glowed with faint blue light, and small sparks floated in the air like fireflies. He blinked many times, but it was all real. He turned around quickly, hoping the bridge was still there, but there was nothing. Only air and the rushing water below. The bridge had vanished. Ben's stomach twisted. He was trapped. "Hello," he called, his voice shaking. Something answered, but it was not human. A whisper floated on the wind, "You crossed the moon bridge. Few ever dare. Few ever return." Ben spun around, eyes wide. Shadows moved between the glowing trees. Shapes that looked like people but stretched taller than humans. Their faces were hidden, but their eyes glimmered like glass. They circled him slowly. Ben's mind screamed at him to run, but his legs felt heavy. He remembered the words of his grandmother, who always told him never to look back when walking at night. Looking back, she said, can trap you where you don't belong. Now he understood. One of the tall shadows leaned close and whispered, "Why did you come?" I didn't mean to," Ben stammered. "I just walked. I didn't know." The shadow tilted its head, and its glassy eyes flashed. "No one crosses by mistake. The moon bridge chooses." The shadows did not harm Ben, but they followed him everywhere. When he sat under a glowing tree, they stood in silence. When he walked through the silver grass, they moved with him like shadows of his own. He tried to sleep, but strange sounds filled the night, low humming, whispers that seemed to come from inside his head. He missed home, his warm bed, and his mother's voice. Here, everything felt too quiet and too alive. The next night, when the moon rose again, the bridge appeared faintly in the distance. Ben's heart leapt with hope. He ran to it, but the shadows blocked his way. Their voices merged into one deep echo, "If you cross back, you must not look behind you. If you do, you will never leave again." Ben nodded quickly. "I understand." The bridge stretched before him again, bright under the moonlight. He stepped onto it, each plank glowing beneath his feet. His chest burned with fear, but he kept moving. The shadows watched from the edge of the silver grass. Halfway across, a sound broke the silence, a voice. "Ben." It was his mother's voice, calling him softly. He froze. His heart pounded. It sounded so real, so close. He wanted to turn around, to see her face. But deep inside, he remembered the warning, "Never look back." The voice grew louder. "Ben. Come back. Don't leave me here." Tears filled his eyes. He wanted to see her, to run back and hug her. His legs shook as the voice became desperate, crying and begging. His mother never cried like that. He pressed his hands over his ears, trying to block it out, but the sound still slipped in. His grandmother's words echoed in his mind, "If you look back, you'll be trapped." Ben whispered to himself, "Don't look. Don't look. Just walk." He forced his legs to move, one step after another. The voice behind him screamed now, filled with sorrow and pain. But Ben's heart knew it was not really his mother. It was the shadows. It was the world trying to hold him forever. The closer he got to the other side, the stronger the pull behind him felt. His back grew cold, as if icy fingers were reaching for him. But still, he did not turn. At last, Ben's foot touched the earth of his own side of the river. The bridge was still under him, glowing faintly. His chest heaved with relief. He wanted to run, but his legs were weak. Just then, a gentle wind brushed his ear, carrying the last whisper of the shadows, "We will wait. The moon bridge always waits." Ben stumbled onto the grass, away from the bridge. He dared not look back. The sound of rushing water filled the night again, and when he finally turned, there was nothing there, no bridge, no glow, only the dark river flowing. Ben fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. He was home, but part of him still felt tied to that silver land. He wondered if he had truly escaped or if the moon bridge would one day call him again. The moon slipped behind the clouds, and the night grew still. Ben stood and walked back to his house, his steps heavy, his heart forever carrying the memory of the vanishing bridge. He never told anyone what he saw. But whenever the moon was full, he stayed inside, pressing his face to the window, watching the river, afraid of the path that might appear again. The bridge was gone. But its silence followed him forever.